Top 5 things to consider.
Yes.
If you're buying a new driver. Ooh. If you're going to buy a new driver, there'll be a lot of choices that you're making. We're going to talk about some of those choices that are going around in your head as you're watching this video and that video and the rest of the time. Should I?
About it.
Will it do that? And can it do this? And will I achieve this? So hopefully we'll answer some of those questions and you can go out and spend your money. Or not.
Ooh.
Let's get stuck in, eh? Let's get stuck in. Did you just crash my let's get stuck in?
Sorry.
Get out. So what do you want from your driver, I think, is the key first question that I would consider if I was buying a new driver.
That.
Like, yeah, you wanted it straighter? Do you wanted it higher, lower,
yeah,
further? Mm-hmm. That would be my biggest thing that makes me decide to start watching videos, decide to start going in the shops and asking questions, or friends, what's that one like that? You know, those kind of things. What about you?
For me personally, what would I pick?
So if you are gonna, something's gonna make you make this decision to get this new driver, what is it that's doing it? Is it the fact that you're in one, like, because, you know, if I put this driver down and it doesn't look how I want it to look, but it's what I could afford at the time, then that's going to make me start looking at other drivers, even if I can afford them or not, so when I can afford them, to know what I want. Yeah,
so me personally, I always question whether I need to get something or not. And then once I do decide, yes, I need to get it, then looks would be one of the first.
Would it?
Yeah.
So for me, I think looks, I mean, what about people who have come to fittings or asked you questions? I mean, the big ones I get is they want more distance, don't they?
Yeah, the big drivers, it's generally, I want more distance, and then we go, well, was your last one fit? Yes. Okay, there might be a struggle if it's been fit properly to find that extra, but we'll do what we can. If it's not fit, then brilliant, like you're in the market for some serious yardages generally. Yeah, absolutely. So if you are looking to hit a driver further, that's a consideration, that's something that might make you want to buy your new driver. Being realistic with those ideas, I would say, is key as well. Like Matt's saying there, if you've been fit before, like how, if that fitting was decent, there's probably not more yardage in it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy a new driver. Like, it might sit more open than you ever wanted it to, more closed. It might show more loft at you than you ever wanted before, so you're having to, like, you're doing stuff when you play to try and, like, because it's the driver you bought, but play with it. All those kind of things are key things to what should make you go in and book your foot, your fit. Even if you feel like, I mean, I've gone to a lighter shaft. Feeling like the club's feeling too heavy or too light is a great reason then to go in and test and think about getting that new club. Two drivers, yours and the new one that you've got your eye on, look the same. Perform the same. So you get the same numbers, okay? So every shot you hit, you get pretty much the same performance out of them. But you just don't like the look of your driver. Your hard-earned money. You buying one? They're not cheap. We're going to talk price. Well,
so the question really is changing for looks enough to make you change? Two parts to the question then, because I know you'll struggle with this one. Because it's about spending money.
You do know how long it took me.
You took 2 years to buy headphones. Let's say money's no object, so you've got credit on your account at the club because you've won a few things. So it's not money. Would you change if it looked more like you wanted it to look, but the numbers were the same?
Yes.
Straight away, no brainer.
Yes.
If you have to spend your money and it's a £400 or whatever driver, like they're expensive, how much would you keep looking at that driver you don't like until you change, or would you never change until it becomes a situation where the money, do you see where I'm going?
Well, I would keep looking, just keep looking at it, and then one day I'd probably think,
because the money's in place though, or because it looks better?
Either I've saved up and it's not as tight to now purchase it in the bank account. Like,
that's it, the line.
I think the performance aspect is bigger. Now I think about it.
Okay.
Because my headphones is like a classic example.
Yeah.
I waited, you know how long I waited to buy some Beats or whatever over the ear ones, and then as soon as I bought them and I've experienced noise cancelling, like AirPods was like a no-brainer. I just went and got them.
Yeah, because you wanted that feature.
I want it. If performance was the same as the wired ones without them, and it was just a pair of Beats, like I would still be probably now 5 years down the line and still not bought them.
For me, I think if you want a driver just to look a certain way, and the way you've got the one you're using doesn't look, as long as you can, it's in your budget, definitely change it.
People buy shiny new things for the hell of it.
You gotta like what you look at. It's your leisure time.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of brands to choose from.
There is.
I mean, you could go for a fit and you could try probably 15 clubs, couldn't you?
Yeah, on your selected stores, I would think you would be able to. Like pro shops, they tend to stock like 2 or 3 brands, don't they?
Yeah.
That they like. But yeah, there's plenty to pick from.
So how much would Brand Alliance play its part when choosing your next driver?
Personally, when I played a lot when I was younger, it didn't. I just picked something up and went, whoa, I like the look of that. Can I make it fit in my bag? Yes, I can. So
it could have been any brand?
Yeah.
So I was exactly the same. I wasn't aligning to a brand, as in I just need Callaway. But there were certainly trends as it went, like Callaway were hot at one point.
Yeah.
And then Ping irons were like hot, and then their drivers got hot. So it's like the rhythm of everyone talking makes you go and test. As a fitter, when I was fitting a lot, teaching a lot, fitting a lot, anyone who came and said, can I try all the drivers? I used to just like, no, you can't. No. You have to literally, let's go 3 at the most. Because as you've seen from hopefully our videos, the numbers are all quite similar.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're going to try them all, we're going to be there all day, and you can't afford me all day.
And you're going to be tired.
And you're going to fatigue by the time you get to the 5th manufacturer.
Yeah.
So definitely having some kind of alliance of what you're thinking you want, watching reviews, reading articles, aligning to what players you want to aspire to, and it doesn't matter because they are, basically, I'll say it now, I've said it loads, you can get any driver on the market as long as it's fit, performing the way you want it to. Within reason. You're going to see 2 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 6 yards, no yards, squeezing extra bits out of different drivers. It's how it sits for you, like we were saying earlier. All those things are going to far outweigh the brand stuff. So the flip side to that, you could read it the other way. If you have got a brand alliance, then it doesn't matter. It makes it easier.
I was quite funny when I was younger, because whenever I had like a driver, I never bought the same manufacturer the next time.
Yeah, you had to change.
I had to. It was like, I don't know if that was...
I had 2 Callaways in a row, so I went Warbird to Great Big Bertha, but that was because, again, at that time, there was no... They were
big changing, weren't they?
And they were the only ones really doing those changes, like they were leading it.
Yeah.
And then everyone followed, so you could then move it around a bit more. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, the grass is always greener, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Brand Alliance is not a problem at all, because they're all going to perform the same. Most, if not all, the brands will have every range of, let's say, your 3 general specs of driver, like a shaping one, draw, to a low spin, to a general use, higher MOI, and then they mix them up between as well. So I certainly wouldn't get bogged down with going for your brand, but I also wouldn't be that person trying every driver, because you are wasting everybody's time with that. So my driver, Matthew, is non-adjustable, it's fixed. Just out of interest, do you reckon it's fixed, because this isn't a cheap driver, do you reckon it's fixed because they want to keep it really light?
Yeah, I would say so. Because if you think of non-adjustable, then you think price point £200 or less.
Yeah, when this obviously isn't that price point.
Yeah.
So adjustability, how much of a factor is that for buying, do you think, for people? So not just you, just people in general. When it comes, how much of a decision is that into their buying process for their new driver?
I would think that there's a high 50-50. Like,
yeah,
I think that people buy drivers with adjustability and never change it.
Yeah,
and then I think that they buy it, and there's tinkerers out there that do change.
And you've adjusted your drivers? You've got adjustable drivers and you've adjusted them, haven't you?
Yeah.
During a tour? Even during a round?
Muppet rules, anything goes. Yes, I have, yeah.
So obviously if you think about that, then that would have, if you were spending your money and choosing what one to get, so you are now spreading yourself across all the brands, because I don't think Callaway had a fixed head at the time. If they did, it certainly wasn't one that you were particularly interested in using. You know, so there's other drivers now with fixed heads that are interesting to you. How much is the fact that you know you can change it to not going to sway you towards the changeable one? Bearing in mind you have done it, you've changed, haven't you?
Yeah, like I think it for me again would be down to those are two lasers.
I know, they're good.
It would be down to how much I was playing.
Right.
And if I'm having lessons.
Okay.
Like if I'm playing a lot and my swing's in a good place, like, and I get my drivers fit properly.
268 laser that.
Good shot.
268.
Then I'm not searching, am I?
No.
So if I'm not playing a lot and I'm hitting the toes and I'm duck hooking and slicing, like I'm going to be trying to find a quick fix, and that's where I might want my adjustability to be there. Yeah,
so for me, I don't even think about adjustability to not. So I have to remind myself that this isn't adjustable. Like if you'd have asked me, I'm in Sainsbury's and you bump into me, oh, that driver, is it adjustable? No, it's not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, because it's not, because I'm going to buy more on performance stroke looks. Once it's done, it's done. And if this driver doesn't work for me after a few years or a few months, I do know that it's going to be worth, I'm going to lose 100 quid on it. Yeah. And there's a part of me that thinks, I love my golf, I will just do that. Yeah. If you're losing 100 quid or whatever your trading value over a month, if you're somebody who's going to change it, I mean, I've never changed a driver in a month, like ever. No. It's just, my buying process was a little bit more calculated than that. So for me, it would make no difference. But definitely, I think if you are a tinkerer and you like that side, making sure that you do understand the adjustability is there or not to help you with that. And then the flip side to that, if you are a tinkerer and you want to kind of stop yourself, maybe don't buy an adjustable, get a fixed one, and it'll like just turn you off from
take you away from it.
And I think a really good point as well, if you are having lessons, a driver that maybe gives you more options to grow, because you start changing dynamic lofts and we take it down. But again, don't let that hold you back. If a fixed one just performs better for you, you will lose a little bit of money over a turn of a screw and changing it, and changes aren't going to happen like overnight. It's going to be a process. And I mean, and I can launch this club or whatever I want at the end of the day. You saw me with a Mizuno test where we launched it lower. So I think it's a consideration, but I wouldn't want it to be. As a fitter, I would hope that performance far outweighs that decision. What about price, Matthew? If I can just pull you away from watching your own video there.
Mega giveaway in that video.
I'm just on a random website that I can click on a brand of driver. I'm not going to say which one it is, but this driver is £600 almost, and there's one there for £1,000.
£1,050.
If I just flick back again, we don't need to say the brand. If we come to another brand here. There's a driver that I use, Cleveland HB Turbo driver. Have I said the brand there?
169 one there.
And it's 279. And I've tested my launcher turbo, and I will use it through the year, and I've got my max numbers out of it. How much is price going to be something that they need to think about? Obviously, it's got to be key to what they're thinking about.
Yeah, I would say so. What your bank can afford. What is quite interesting, looking at this website
that they can't see,
you can do a monthly payment. Look,
that's happened for a while.
That's your pricing of why people do buy top end. Well, there's a good reason.
If they're spreading
£50 a month, brilliant. Perfect.
Instead
absolutely. Of outlaying all that at one whack.
So there are options.
Like that. Clever that, isn't it?
Clever that monthly paying, isn't it?
Didn't know golf was into that.
But back to the real point.
We are on price, aren't we? So
so what, if you've got, so my question then, if you've got two drivers, one's £1,000 and one's 279, and they perform exactly the same, which one are you going for?
Cheap one.
Okay, if you've got two brands, one that you love, one that you're not that keen on, one's the driver's £500, one's the £300, but they both perform the same, which one are you buying? You don't like the £300 brand, you just don't like that brand, and you like the £500 brand, it's everything about you.
£500.
Yeah, that's what everyone. So I think going in, you need to understand what you need to spend. I used to say this for students, right? This is you should think about this for all your fits. People will come into my fit and I'd say, look, before we start, what can you afford?
Yeah.
And that takes people back a bit. They don't like to show their hand. And I'd say, look, if you want me to get you the best club, I need to know this, because there's no point me showing you this tailor-made driver that's 550 quid that's going to give you great numbers if you're going to say I can't hit that one, and then I show you the one that's £200, but I can't get it in a 10 loft, it's only in a 10.5 and then a 9 because that's a fixed head and the rest of it, and it gives you like 7 yards less. Why would I'm not going to show you that one if you can afford the £500 one. See what I mean? So I used to say to him, look, I'm not trying to con you, just tell me what you can spend and I will find you the best driver for that. I don't care if it's 100 quid. If you tell me you've got 100 quid, let's go on eBay together. Hit some of my clubs and you pay me for my time and I'll tell you what you need, and you go to eBay and spend your £100 and get that second hand, like this Ping, Cleveland, Callaway, TaylorMade, whatever. I'll help you get the best club, because I was always coming at it as a coach. You know, I just want you to be better. I don't care what you want to spend on any of your leisure activities. So if you've got a fitter that you trust, like, just be that honest with them. I've got 250 quid. Don't want to spend more. What's the best driver? Because they'll have second-hand ones in stores. That are fittable if they're changeable, and they might have a 9 and a 10 and 11 in a second-hand model. And I think, you know, 9 would work for you for those kind of things.
Lots of options, aren't there?
Price is just, you know, it's huge.
And you can pay monthly.
And you can pay monthly. But you've got to be honest with yourself on what you can, you can spend. Last category then is resale. Would you do resale? As in, do you buy a driver thinking, what can I get for it when I do trade it in? I have never bought a driver that way.
No, but I would think about it after I bought it, like keeping it nice.
Get you on that ladder.
Like, I would be cleaning it, and I know you don't, but again, when I bought a driver, like, it was precious. Like scratching it. Oh no, why have I just done that?
I think where I was different is when I bought a driver, when I bought drivers, and still I didn't, it's not fair because I never really bought them because it was always from winnings and stuff. It wasn't like I went and worked and then spent my money. It was more that money had to be spent, it was in the shop. But when I bought my driver, I had no intention of swapping it, really. That was going to be my driver for a long time. But when I used to work in shops, you would get people who come in who, like, you see them every year on the releases, and I just say, okay, it's like a hobby, that's cool. You like, go for it. But do we have to have a conversation if this one's better?
It's worse than that as well, isn't there? Like monthly ones.
Oh, you did used to get the monthly ones.
Yeah.
So if you're buying, thinking of reselling, that's fine. A bit more like Matt, look after it, thinking about what it's worth. For me, I would want you to keep your driver for at least 2 years, maybe even 4. Nothing's going to change in that time. So, you know, what it's worth in 4 years. I wouldn't use it as a buying preference. Again, I'm going to go back to performance. And if the one that performs better for me is one that is only worth 50 quid in 2 years, as long as it's performing better for me at that time, I'm going to go for that.
Matt, you whack it, it's worth every penny, isn't it?
Totally agree. Post comments down below. What are your reasons for buying a new driver? Has any of these helped you make your decisions or actually stopped you from buying a driver? Both, you know, as long as it's positive in that comment section down below. I don't care if you buy one or not, as long as you got one that works for you. I don't care what brand you got. But that Cleveland HP Turbo 279, how much? It's such a good club.
Monthly payments.